In a perfect world, broccoli would taste more like ice cream. In the real world, Diet Dr. Pepper does taste more like regular Dr. Pepper. It's the taste you've been looking for.
It wasn't much of a gift shop. It wasn't much of a fire. It was pretty much everything to Joe and Linda. It was gone pretty fast. A small, bright dot in the night sky, then nothing. And by now, someone may be watching this and saying, not unkindly, but still saying it, who cares? So we just wanted to say, well, there's Joe, there's Linda, and there's us. Cigna, a business of caring.
Eric Turner, a native Californian from Ventura, California, prep All-American there in high school, and an All-American with the Bruins of UCLA. Spent 5 years in Cleveland, 1 in Baltimore before he came over to the Oakland Raiders, and his 65-yard fumble recovery and return has put the Raiders back on top. Ford's kick to Hebron, taken at the goal line with a seam, and then it closes down. There's a penalty marker as he's tackled at the 23-yard line by James Folston. Bernie Kukar, by the way, the referee who was knocked flat on his back on the fumble return, is, as you see, back on his feet and apparently okay. Holding call against the Broncos, nullifying a 22-yard return.
Holding number 59 on the return team, on the run back, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Glenn Cadrez called for the penalty. Joe Bugles happy again. His Raiders are back on top. The NFL on NBC.
Still shaving with blades. We know how you feel about that. The Norelco Reflex Action Razor. Anything closer could be too close for comfort. It has a lubricating comfort strip. And for a lot of guys, that's not much comfort. The Norelco Reflex Action Razor. Anything closer could be too close for comfort.
In a perfect world, golf balls would taste more like gumballs. In the real world, Diet Dr. Pepper does taste more like regular Dr. Pepper. It's the taste you've been looking for.
There's a new leader in property casualty with a new charge to give businesses new standards of safety, security, and service. Travelers Property Casualty. We give you something to hold on to and something to look forward to.
Oh, hi, honey.
Am I excited about Thursday? Of course, Thursdays are at anniversary.
Of course I planned a trip.
Yeah, we're taking the Orient Express to
Spot.
in
Thailand.
for bird watching.
Love you too. Bye.
New Visa Platinum.
Did you go to Thailand?
With a world of purchase power for the unexpected, including that trip you never thought you'd take.
This is such a surprise.
Yeah, New Visa Platinum. It's everywhere you want to be.
There it goes. If it stays fair, home run. We will have a 7th game in the 1975 World Series.
Lance Johnstone has become a designated pass rusher for the Raiders, and here he does his job.
Tony Jones just gets off on him, but he gets the hand in there that strips the ball before McLaughlin ever got to Elway.
And then Turner is off to the races, 65 yards for the touchdown. Elway, first down pass, threads it into Shannon Sharp. Morton and Beekert had him covered, one on either side, and it didn't matter to John Elway with that great arm and that great vision. He puts it right as a laser into Shannon.
Well, if you have questions about how the Broncos can react to adversity when their A game isn't there, you're going to find out here in the second half, because their A game is definitely not here, and they're definitely making the mistakes they usually don't make.
Elway spreading the ball around with 5 different receivers today. Davis out of the backfield has caught a half dozen. Here he is on the sweep. Terrell Davis has a first down. Albert Lewis forced to make the tackle and run support. Lewis talking to us about the pounding that you take, especially from Shannon Sharp when you're playing defense against the Broncos.
But not to mention also when you're in a position, as he never was with Kansas City, of run support, just like right there. You know, Rod Smith is trying to work on the outside to work on Lewis. Look at Lewis, he sheds him. Now he's got to do run support. I mean, in Kansas City, he was a cover guy. He's got a complete game now with the Raiders. He has to do all those different things.
That's what he said to us. He said he's become a much more complete player here in his 15th season. The injured Bronco is Howard Griffin, being helped to his feet. The NFL season extends to the World Wide Web at NFL.com, the league's official website. All the scores and stats, including a complete roundup of this weekend's scores and action, plus chat live with some of the NFL's biggest stars, all at NFL.com.
That internet's the best thing that ever happened to sports.
Makes our job easier, doesn't it?
Oof. I tell you that, and people that love to play fantasy football and fantasy basketball or any other kind of thing, you can follow anything you want sports-wise on the web.
Griffith goes to the sideline. Terrell Davis, the lone setback. Two tight end formation for the Broncos as Elway throws it wide of his intended receiver, Dwayne Carswell.
Yeah, he threw that one about a knuckle wide. That space between the middle knuckle to the tip of your fingers, that's about all as far as he threw that ball a little too wide. But, you know, it's a very typical of what Elway and this offense have done. They've looked fairly good at times, but they're just not right.
Look at that, 55 plays to 29 for Oakland. Oakland true to its big play form, offense and defense, as it turns out. Elway lofts it for McCaffrey. Couldn't get there. He was looking over his inside shoulder. The ball came over his outside.
You see some of those great old highlight, black and white type highlight films of, you know, Elroy, Crazy Leg Hurst, talking about we used to practice catching the ball coming over our heads. I guarantee you McCaffrey and Elway don't spend too much time practicing throwing that over the other shoulder, especially when John's balls drop out of the air a little quicker than the old floaters.
And for another reason, Elway's usually right on target. They've converted 3 of 7 on 3rd and long. They face a 3rd and 10 here. Draw play, flag down. Terrell Davis, nothing. Scrambles free, but still nowhere to go. James Trapp made sure.
That's either illegal formation or the motion man Smith moving towards the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped.
And it's well short of the first down, so the Raiders will decline.
Illegal shift. 2 men on the offense are moving. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Remember, we talked about Rod Smith in motion right there. That's one guy moving.
31 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Tom Ruin on to punt. It'll be his 4th of the game.
Howard hasn't done much this year, Tom, but this is a great time momentum-wise to keep the ball away from a guy that could go hit you with a home run.
Ruin boots it on its way, end over end. Howard from about his 40, got about 5 yards to the 45-yard line. It's coming in 2 weeks, the return of the NBC Saturday Trilogy, 3 amazing shows. The Pretender, the newest thrill on the Saturday Trilogy. Sleepwalkers. Plus the return of Profiler. The NBC Saturday Trilogy returns November 1st on NBC.
Well, we got a couple sleepwalkers playing out here today.
And the Raiders are thrilled so far with the result. They're up 21-17, 10 seconds left in the 3rd. Jeff George steps up and he does his John Elway impersonation, and he has a 1st down. Give him 12 yards. as the third quarter comes to a close.
The difference is Jeff George wasn't looking for a place to fall down.
Can the last unbeaten team in the league come back? Fourth quarter coming up after these messages from your local station.
Dateline Monday. It's about the right look and the right smile. Flirting, the key to finding love. Our experts could have you flirting with confidence. Dateline Monday, only on NBC.
I like a truck who is there beside me. A Chevy truck who can work and play with me too. That's what I like about you.
Now during Chevy Truck Month, get the best deals of the year. Lease a sporty S10, only $189 a month. Or choose a rugged full-size pickup and lease for only $209 a month. The most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
That's what I like about you.
Hurry into your Chevy dealer today.
This is the big one!
This Thursday morning, you could win $20,000 in the WMCQ birthday game.
And it's so easy. Just put your radio on 98.7 WMCQ.
Then listen Thursday morning at 7:10.
We'll announce a birthday in this envelope. If it matches yours, you could win $20 grand!
98.7 WMZQ, Washington's country station.
Somebody's going to win 20 grand Thursday morning at 7:10 on 98.7 WMZQ.
It could be you.
NBC4's homepage. The power is yours.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited. Tom Hamm and Randy Cross ready to start the fourth quarter in Oakland. It'll start with Jeff George trying to regroup a bit. Alfred Williams there gets him by the face mask, and then George falls on the football. During the break, he was over on the sideline trying to catch his breath, threw a few to loosen up. Back on the field, first down, Raiders. Napoleon Kaufman looked for a moment, he would break free, picked up by the Raiders, fumbled by Kaufman. Braxton has it for the Broncos, and they're down to the 35-yard line of the Raiders. Well, a similar circumstance to what happened before as Elway fumbled and the Raiders recovered. Here's Tyrone Braxton picking up the fumble by Napoleon Kaufman, and the Broncos are in business.
Well, if you followed the Raiders this year, this should come as no surprise that off of a mistake by somebody else, they somehow managed to make one of their own. Michael Dean Perry made the hit that broke that ball loose. Braxton happens to be in the right place, but the key for the Broncos right now is who's going to stop making the dumb mistakes. And that was the first one, really, for the Raiders.
Here you see the turnovers, a first down play. John Elway scrambling, loading, and firing, and throwing it out of bounds. There's a penalty marker on the play.
That was a pretty good shot on John Elway there at the end.
Holding call against the Raiders. That's an automatic first down.
Holding. Number 29 on the defense. The 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Tom, about how physical you have to be with these receivers, and Albert Lewis knows it. He talked about working on the sled a little bit. But you know what? I've never tried to tear the cover off the sled. He didn't really hit it. He grabbed it.
Bring back the tearaways.
And John Elway, Darrell Russell's already been penalized once and fined this year for hitting the quarterback.
Chris Chandler of the Falcons. Terrell Davis. Got a yard. Darrell Russell, the big rookie, second player picked in the draft this year. The All-American from Southern California.
See, now you see it, now you don't. You see the hole? It's right there. Now you don't. That was closed up first by Rob Fredrickson, number 53, making the stop. And a nice job by the young, enthusiastic rookie Russell of coming off a block and closing on the tackle.
We watched him in practice yesterday. He had legs like oak trees, didn't he?
That's It's an insult to oak trees.
Swing it to Davis. He's one-on-one with Lewis and is out of bounds, short of the first down.
But you're absolutely right. You get him and Chester McLaughlin together, Darrell Russell. I mean, there are, about 30-inch thighs on both those guys. And the legs on Darrell Russell, I mean, those are big, fresh legs, too. They haven't been playing a lot.
There they are.
And, folks, that silver has a slimming effect, believe me. You notice, he's a rookie. You know how I can tell? He's got no pads in his pants. He's got pads in his pants. See the old guy McLaughlin next to him here? No pads, pads.
Third and 3. Elway stands in the pocket, deflected. I think it was McLaughlin that got a big paw in front of it. It was indeed. Nalen ended up with a football, batted right back into his arms.
Well, Elway throws that ball, and have no misconception. Those hands of Chester McLaughlin's, those are made for knocking balls down. They do not stick to those hands. I don't care how sticky those gloves might be. The ball isn't sticking to those hands.
Now it's 4th down and 4, and a field goal attempt. Elam from 43 yards. And it's no good. Second miss of the day for Elam. He hooked that one to the right. And the score remains 21-17 Raiders.
We come here on a glorious quest to search for that which can be found nowhere else. Where, in the trenches where mighty men clash, amidst the echoes of glories past, high atop Olympus. Oh, this is our quest. This is what football is all about. Now all I gotta do is find that nacho guy.
557 now, boy.
Hey, Junior, we don't want to miss our curtain. I hope you've got Hertz #1 Club Gold.
Well, not exactly, but this company's fast. Oh, sure.
Can't we skip the rental counter like it hurts?
Well, not exactly. Duh.
Hey, genius, I'm waterlogged. Doesn't your company have a canopy like Hertz?
Well, not exactly.
Remember, there's Hertz and there's not exactly. Choose the right one.
So you still think I'm the dummy?
Not exactly.
At the Principal Financial Group, you'll find the strength of our investment performance is your 401k retirement advantage. You'll find our flexibility will meet your insurance needs, and you'll find the balance of choice and quality you need in health coverage. For over a century, you've trusted the Principal for strength, flexibility, and balance in retirement, insurance, and financial products. At the Principal, we give you an edge.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. By Hertz, for business, for pleasure. Nobody does it exactly like Hertz. By Speed Stick Gel, protection just for the guys. And by HBO, it's not TV, it's HBO.
Skyline of Oakland, California, where the Raiders are trying to upset the previously undefeated Denver Broncos, 21-17. Jeff George on first down. Through the hands of Tim Brown and incomplete, nearly intercepted. Brown has made only one reception in the game. This is the third time the Broncos have gotten off to a 6-0 start. The first time, 1977. Their opponent, Week 7, the Raiders. Behind a stingy Raiders defense in the arm of Ken Stabler, the Raiders handed the Broncos their first defeat that season, 24-14. So the Broncos finished 12-2 and went to the Super Bowl, where they lost to the Cowboys. And the Oakland Raiders now trying to turn a similar trick, leading the unbeaten Broncos 21-17.
But the highlight so far has been the feet of Napoleon Kaufman.
Nothing for him that time. Might have lost a yard. John Mobley and Steve Atwater stuffing the run.
But you notice the attacking form of the defense now. Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator of the Broncos, has got to start taking a few more chances on the defensive side of the ball. The sitting back and getting his guys blocked, which happened in the first half of the running game, didn't work as effectively. But we've seen the last 10 or 12 runs for the Raiders, almost a blitz-the-run attitude out of the Denver defense.
Greg Robinson, defensive coordinator of the Broncos, calling his strategy with 3rd and 11. Fake the blitz. Nobody comes. Still, they get to Jeff George, and they sacked by Neil Smith, I believe. The Broncos were all over George, and there's a Neil Smith. He's certainly a candidate for one of the best free agent acquisitions.
Well, you know, it had to be somebody that plays for the Broncos or used to play in the AFC West from the Boo. Neil Smith gets right here with his little home run post-sack swing working against Lincoln Kennedy. That was an effort type of a sack to get there to the quarterback because he was blocked pretty well, but he just got there with a body twist.
Araguz to punt. Darian Gordon awaits it. And he backpedals all the way to the 20-yard line. Plays off one blocker. Used his teammate well as a penalty marker down as Gordon gets only minimal yardage on the return. 6 yards after it was booed at 52. There's Lorenzo Lynch again being shoved by a Denver player.
Lynch.
Well, the Broncos, as you said, they don't have their A game today. Uncharacteristic.
Number 21 on the return team on the run back. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Randy Hilliard on the penalty. Raiders clinging to a 4-point lead.
I got my Harley for just $8.
I moved to LA for $12.
We went to Club Med for $18.
Smart investors know it. You get the lowest commissions of any deep discount broker with Ameritrade. Trade online for just $8. Touchtone trade for $12. Or live broker trade just $18.
I just sold a ton of steel for $8.
And that's the lowest price per trade no matter how many shares you trade. Just call 1-800-592-7607.
I sold the store for $12.
Plus, your first 5 trades are commission-free when you open an account with Ameritrade. Call 1-800-592-7607 or visit our website.
Traded my Fiat for BMW. Unloaded BMW for Mercedes. All before lunch.
Ameritrade. Smartest way to trade, period.
The aluminum in your car radiator is as thin as this sheet, and it's the only thing between you and a breakdown. But Prestone Antifreeze bonds with aluminum, forming a zone of protection against corrosion and temperature extremes. Protect your car in the Prestone zone.
Dave Thomas is on the coast, asking everyone about Wendy's new fresh stuffed pitas.
Your pitas are dreamy, Dave.
I thought you liked them.
Wendy's fresh stuffed pitas, the only way to describe them is
Fabulous.
NBC scared you out of the water with The Beast, made you fear the skies with Asteroid. But this Halloween weekend, the real monsters are here. Vampires, werewolves, Frankenstein.
You gotta get out of there. Somebody is coming.
Do you have any crosses in the house? House of Frankenstein, Sunday, Halloween weekend on NBC. Violent scenes, parental discretion advised.
That's the dockyards and freight yards of Oakland in the fog. The Pacific Ocean, San Francisco lying just west. That aerial view from the MetLife blimp. Snoopy 2 teaming up with NBC today. The MetLife blimp typically cruising at 35 miles an hour at 1,200 feet. John Elway lets it go. And it's broken up. Well-timed hit by Rob Fredrickson. Pass intended for Detron Smith.
And Kevin Johnson, a backup defensive tackle, gets himself a little piece of number 7 right there, John Elway. The coverage is good. The timing is off. And when John Elway starts regularly getting hit like this, you know a defense is either attacking the heck out of their quarterback or the offensive line isn't doing a very good job. And I think the offensive line's having an off day right now for the Denver Broncos.
And the Oakland defense, for a change, came to play. Nice catch in traffic by Smith that time. He'll be short of the first down by 3 or 4 yards. Again, Fredrickson draws the assignment and makes the play on Smith.
And one thing really unusual right now, too, we're seeing is from a penalty standpoint, the Denver Broncos, and not only have they turned the ball over some, they've been making the mistakes. They're holding on returns. They're jumping off sides. They've got 9 penalties so far for 65 yards. And look at the opportunities they've missed so far just in this second half, and they have a missed field goal in the first half.
Looked like they had righted their ship on that opening 80-yard drive to take the lead, but since then, not much done. Here's the reverse. Smith couldn't get a block, but does have a first down. Trapp chases him out of bounds. Was one block away from maybe taking it for the touchdown.
Well, if you got a defense attacking, the best way to take advantage of it is over pursuit. Over pursuit on one side by the Raiders defense sets up a run to that side by Rod Smith. And that should have been a penalty right there on Trapp. Smith was well out of bounds when he got hit by Trapp.
Smith, the native of Texarkana, pounding ahead across the 40-yard line, determined run by Terrell Davis.
Yeah, the Raiders defense at this point is looking for a big play, looking for another opportunity. They squandered a couple of big plays that John Elway tried to give them on interception and on a couple fumbles that the Broncos ended up recovering. From the Broncos standpoint, this is take a deep breath and run your offense the way you know how to run it, or that so-called perfect string you had going at 6-0 is about to come to a screeching halt.
Davis has carried 23 times for 83 yards. Elway under pressure, unloads for McCaffrey. Knocked down, incomplete. Good coverage by Albert Lewis. Lewis says when his career is over, he doesn't know when that'll be, but he's in his 15th season. He wants to go into coaching, and that was textbook right there.
Well, it was good defense, and if he does get into coaching, he might want to point out to any future officials around him that, you know, offensive guys can be pass interference too. McCaffrey got away with one right there. The ball was underthrown. He climbed all over Lewis. And there he is, 54, Greg Beekert again, right in Elway's grill.
3rd and 6. Timeout, Broncos. Elway just saving the delay penalty.
Tom Nalen, the center, didn't see the call for the snap. Elway had happy feet trying to get the ball back there.
We'll be right back.
The internet will create a new utopia
to make us all smile.
We'll fix everything that's wrong in the world. That's right.
Stop the hype machine before I get sick.
I created a chat room. I just sent my first email.
That's nice.
We're creating a virtual pet.
Yeah, that's useful.
Hey, what are you chuckleheads doing? Chrysler's SCORE program, using Lotus Notes and the web, saved the company $1.2 billion.
Start.
This ice cream has walnuts in it.
Yes.
And it's got peaches in it.
Yes.
Peaches and walnuts.
It's never been done before.
Well, what does that tell you?
That I should have stayed an engineer?
Retirement these days is anything you make of it, even ice cream. That's why Aetna Retirement Services gives you the tools to not only build assets, but manage them as well. Aetna, build for retirement, manage for life.
Hey, Kiwi Raisin was a big hit.
Perfect for any game, Domino's has the perfect play. Choose from 3 delicious crusts. There's classic hand-tossed, crunchy thin crust, or go deep with thick ultimate deep dish. So make the call and have it all. Call now, and you can enjoy a delicious Domino's pizza during the game. And why not add some of Domino's spicy buffalo wings or steaming hot breadsticks?
Next Sunday at noon Eastern, a big NFL on NBC doubleheader. First, John Elway and the AFC West leading Broncos battle the Bills, or the Giants host the Bengals. Then a key battle atop the AFC Central. Mark Brunell and the Jaguars face Cordell Stewart and the Steelers, or Raiders Seahawks, or regional action. The NFL on NBC next Sunday.
Keep in mind, the play clock is running down. John Elway is going to move the foot once that says, "Give me the ball." That little motion right there with his feet says, "Gimme, gimme, 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 gimme."
Instead, he got the timeout and fusses a little bit at his center, Tom Nalen. This time, snap on time and on target. Pass, though, is not and nearly intercepted right into the hands of Terry McDaniel. I think he was so surprised he couldn't hold on.
The second interception in his hands, Terry McDaniel has dropped. The first one he guessed right, tried to jump on a route and had it and dropped it. And that one, like you said, he's so surprised The ball got to him. Surprised it didn't hit his face and stick in his face mask.
It was deflected by Shannon Sharp a bit as he tried to make the catch. It'll be 4th down, though, and the Broncos will have to give up the football. Desmond Howard awaiting the ruined punt. Nice punt. Howard's going to let it bounce. And it takes a great Denver bounce. Beautifully done. Down at about the 7-yard line.
It's not easy to get those Bellotto footballs to bite like that.
Last night, the long ball won game 1 for Charles Johnson and the Florida Marlins. And now that ball is bolted back to back and into the upper deck. Game 2, the Indians and Marlins tonight, immediately following this game here on NBC. And at the Oakland Coliseum, can the Oakland Raiders hold on? They're backed up after that punt. 51 yards. Kaufman breaking clear. Stopped at the 18-yard line. Ray Crockett, as Kaufman made a similar run to the one that opened the game. On this one, didn't quite break.
Hey, you want a formula for how do you finish off an upset? You come out and physically have your guys start taking the other team apart. Steve Wisniewski got a good block coming around. Kennedy and Holmes on the right side opened the initial hole up. And for the Raiders to win this game against the Broncos and ruin a perfect season so far, Kaufman has to continue to be the key, and that offensive line has to physically take the fight out of the Denver defense.
That third quarter, the Raiders hardly had the football. That's why the yardage so low for Napoleon Kaufman.
Well, they only had it. They needed it for about 10 seconds. That's how long it took Turner to go from that 62 yards.
Just short of the first down. It'll be second and less than a yard for the Raiders. The ball is at the Oakland 17. They lead 21-17 with 8:50 left. Kaufman cut down in his tracks by Keith Traylor.
Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator of the Broncos, knows that, you have planning and you blitz and you have responsibilities. And, well, sometimes you just get lucky and the running back trips over a leg that's just sort of thrown in there by Keith Traylor, 94, right there. See that? If it's intentional, you can get a flag on that for tripping, but there was nothing intentional about that.
Now it's third down at about a yard. Kaufman has it. And more. Napoleon Kaufman. Touchdown.
Designed to go in here. Watch him bounce. The guard Wisniewski pulls, supposed to go inside the tackle. That's that bouncing. That's that instinct. And why did it take this guy so long to be a full-time running back, by the way?
Greg Robinson livid on the Denver sideline. Tyrone Braxton was the last man that had a shot at him. Kaufman broke that tackle easily. And Ford's extra point is good. Kaufman now has carried 21 times for 211 yards. It's 28-17.
Good Lord. I think it's about 8 o'clock. I think my baby got...
Owen Moore works at the Liberty Mutual Research Center.
Hey, Randy, use an underarm motion. Thanks, Doc.
Owen studies how you can do your job better and safer.
Reaching out.
Ensuring workplace safety. That's the freedom of liberty. Liberty Mutual.
This might be a good time to talk about the Michelin X1. Thanks to Michelin technology, it gives you long mileage and better wet braking than any rain tire. And that should make everyone on a wet road happy.
What if the best way to end your nightmares was to travel inside them? A dream team trained to travel into your mind. NBC Saturday in 2 weeks. Sleepwalkers.
The only thing that really gets on Napoleon Kaufman is the right arm of Tyrone Braxton right there. Now the only thing that can stop him would be a divot, a trip, a tall pigeon, but none of the above get in the way.
Or one of those guys we saw in the stands earlier, just to look at one of those guys. As Cole Ford kicks off. Hebron from the 4. Bounces to the outside. Von Hebron with a nice return. Thrown out of bounds at the 40-yard line by Shed. There's Napoleon Kaufman, career-high 211 yards. If you're wondering, that 83-yard jaunt is not a record. The longest run from scrimmage, Bo Jackson, 92 yards in 1989 against Cincinnati. And the one everyone remembers, that 91-yard jaunt when he ran all the way out of the stadium against Seattle in 1987.
Don't forget also, as bad as this team has looked in the Denver Broncos, don't forget the Elway fourth quarter magic.
He has 7:41 to work with, and he's under pressure. Sacked. Russell Maryland, Greg Biekert, and the Raiders are starting to smell it now, and the defense, which has played so horribly all season long, just can't wait to get at Elway.
Specifically, I think the defensive line and Greg Biekert. Greg Biekert's been featured attacking. He's done the job. And whatever he hasn't been able to clean up, those big defensive linemen in front of him has cleaned up for him.
Third sack of the day for the Raider defense. 2nd and 19. Look at Elway escape, and now he's going to run. Lowers his head and bangs down hard across the 40-yard line. Collided there with Albert Lewis.
He didn't lower his head. That was gravity. He was going down. The head had to come with the rest of them. And this scramble right here is John Elway is seeing nobody down the field. And when things aren't going good, you know what happens? Insult to injury. Somebody steps on your head.
Third and 7. Lewis knocked it away. Intended for Smith.
Now let me get this straight. Which one of these teams was 2-4 coming in here?
Boy, if you didn't know, you think it was the Raiders that had been flying high. Shanahan did disagree with a call or no call made. But Joe Bugle said that bye week came at a great time. He said, I think we'll be ready to play. We've had some of our best practices. He has the unbeaten Broncos in a hole. Denver's going for it on 4th and 7. And Elway completes the pass. It's short of the first down. Shannon Sharp was wrapped up immediately by Lorenzo Lynch. Remember that Lynch has been taking a beating all day because of his comments a season ago, and he makes a key play there, stopping Shannon Sharp a yard or two short of the first down.
Yeah, now not only are you beating the Denver Broncos, you're starting to smash just a little bit of that will right out of them. They want to make a point that we're still the #1 team in the league. And your defense snuffs out any of that hope of at the moment being the #1 football team in the NFL.
They've never been 7-0. 10 years ago to the day was Black Sunday when the stock market crashed. Are the Denver Broncos going to come crashing down on Black Sunday and see their unbeaten record go by the boards? Napoleon Kaufman, somebody better get him. Michael Dean Perry does.
Yeah, this whole situation, if it was to come to a loss, as you look at the best starts ever, you know, last time 6-0, you get to the Super Bowl and lose them. And a couple of divisional losses in the other one, but you don't think there's a couple of former football players spread around the country and located maybe down the South Florida area that'd love to see another year pass with an unbeaten team in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins?
Indeed. 5:38 and counting. A first down. When you got it rolling, you see, make that sign, give me more.
I tell you, this is such a game of emotion. The Denver Broncos came out, emotionally just looked flat. And Al Davis's Oakland Raiders, they came out, I don't know what Al said to them, I don't know what Joe Bugle has said to them today, but these guys came out with their butts on fire.
One thing Bugle said was, give the ball to Napoleon, and he was prophetic in that, saying he had to get the ball in his hands, and has it ever paid dividends? Stop for a loss there. That'll be negative yards. John Mobley makes the play. But again, the other big factor, I think, Randy, is that that rushing defense of the Raiders. Bugle said we practiced all week. We practiced on running the ball and stopping the run, and it's been a dramatic turnaround.
I mean, when you look at the yards against all week long, people want to talk about Joe Bugle's team, 4.7 against the rush. But what we've seen is the Denver defense that was averaging worse at 5.3 become the trouble spot. People thought you could be physical and take it to this defense, and this Raiders team has taken it to this defense.
This is Tim Hall who gets the carry. Stopped by Mobley and Williams. First carry of the season for Hall in his first year from Robert Morris, 6th-round draft choice last year, who carried only 3 times in 2 games a season ago. Denver will take the timeout with 4:01 left on the clock.
You know, coaches hate celebrating early.
Halloween weekend, for 400 years, they stalked mankind.
Vampires, werewolf, it's the Frankenstein monster.
Now they've all come back at the same time, an NBC original event, House of Frankenstein, 1977, NBC Sunday in 2 weeks. And this has indeed been a house of horrors for the unbeaten Broncos today.
Well, if they ever film a sequel to that, I know it hasn't been on yet, but if they ever film a sequel to that, they could do it here and cast it in about 10 minutes.
A lot of extras on hand here. In fact, speaking of extras, no question the Raiders have gotten a lift. Welcome to those of you who watched Miami and Baltimore as the Dolphins win on the road 24-13. Tom Hammond, Randy Cross at Oakland, where the Raiders are trying to give the Denver Broncos their first defeat of the season. And the man carrying the ball there, Napoleon Kaufman, will be one of the chief architects as he has rushed for a career high over 200 yards. And the Raiders are leading 28-17 as Denver takes another timeout, stopping the clock at 3:53.
And if you're just joining this game, we've seen a Denver Broncos team that has made plenty of mistakes, and an Oakland Raiders team that has come in here at 2-4 and been the one with the crisp, precise execution.
Here's the last touchdown run by Napoleon Kaufman, 83 yards.
About 75 of which was totally uncontested.
And he has now for the game 227 yards, which is a new Oakland Raider record. A new record rushing Napoleon Kaufman, 227 yards in the game.
And a standing ovation here at Oakland Coliseum.
And it couldn't have come at a better time for this team. Faced with a must-win situation, our Miller Time game summary. Terrell Davis, leading AFC rusher coming in, held to 85 yards on 23 rushes by what had been a terrible rush defense of the Raiders. Jeff George hitting 8 of 11, and the unexpected, a Raider record 227 yards from Napoleon Kaufman. Tim Brown on the reverse. Cut it inside when he should have gone outside. And Steve Atwater's there to meet him.
No. You don't want to go in there. If you're a wide receiver on a reverse, you might want to widen it out, but don't go back inside where the big boys live. Because the big boys get you, they're going to hurt you. See, I mean, you want to take it on a reverse. You want to think outside. I mean, the big guys are here. The little guys are here. Which one would you do? I mean, would you rather have a little guy hit you or a big guy hit you? Because there's more than one big guy in there.
Broncos grab the football, but no timeouts left. They trail 28-17. Can Elway pull off another one? Shannon Sharp gets 9 yards. Terry McDaniel giving a little cushion with a stop of Sharp. The clock will stop at the 2-minute warning, but that's all the Broncos can get.
They need big chunks and out of bounds.
Off the hands of Willie Green. Welcome to those of you who watch the Steelers and the Bengals as Cordell Stewart works his magic again. 26-10 Pittsburgh over Cincinnati. Tom Hamm and Randy Cross in Oakland, where the Raiders are hoping to hand the Broncos their first defeat of the season, up 28-17, approaching 3 minutes, as the Broncos pick up the first down on that run. Big factor in the game, a Raider record 227 yards rushing by Napoleon Kaufman. Shanahan against Bugle. The Broncos looking to go 7-0 for the first time in their history, but Bugle and the Raiders, much maligned this season and only 2 wins, had other ideas. Can Elway pull it out? Wide open, crossing pattern. Shannon Sharp ducks out of bounds, stops the clock at 2:48.
We talked about at the beginning of the game what kind of game this was and what made the Raiders so dangerous. You know, Napoleon Kaufman gets 227 yards, a career and team record high. The defense comes together and plays well. The offensive line, obviously, when you run for that many yards, plays well. You run into a team that suddenly decides on your day you play them. If you're Mike Shanahan, why play up to your potential now? Why couldn't you stay asleep? Well, they're wide awake in Oakland.
Albert Lewis just limped off the field for Oakland. Elway chased from the pocket and unloads. Rob Fredrickson putting the pressure on John Elway.
And we're sort of grinding on this, Tom, but this Oakland Raider defense is attacking, they're pressuring, and they're making this look like a very un-Bronco-esque performance from Elway and the team from Denver.
Second and 10, ball at the Raider 42. You see the time left. McCaffrey, Elway on target. That one takes it to the 29-yard line where McCaffrey's tackled by Terry McDaniel.
You know, Elway's hurrying things up here, but what they need is more plays in succession. They've had little success and little failures. Little success, little failures. They need success, success, success.
Elway for the end zone, wide open, touchdown, McCaffrey. John Elway threatening to work his magic again. They'll go for 2 as he spots McCaffrey for the touchdown.
Wow. The mental mistakes, the football mistakes have been made by the Broncos up to this point, and just a flat, broken, dropped coverage by the Oakland Raiders, enabling McCaffrey to run free like that up the sideline.
And Elway breaks his string of no touchdown passes. McCaffrey's 5th touchdown reception of the season, 28 yards, and now they go for 2. Direct snap to Davis, but there are penalty markers down.
It's going to be offsides against the Raiders. They jumped early. They've been getting away with guessing right. They guessed wrong that time.
It is offside against Oakland. You get the feeling Joe Bugle's been here before?
Offside on the defense, number 96. Half the distance to the goal. Retry.
Kind of like that Cowboy team that came back earlier on NBC and beat Jacksonville. This Bronco team, just when you want to drive that stake through the heart and finishing them off, Darrell Russell jumps off sides, 96, sets it up, but you better check for a pulse before you declare this team dead.
Split backs. Davis got it. 2-point conversion is good. 2:15 left. Shanahan and the Broncos, while they haven't played their best, showing the heart of an unbeaten team, the best in the NFL, as they have pulled within a field goal.
But watch McCaffrey here. I mean, you've got a situation out there. McDaniel's working, handing him off to the guy behind him. Well, there is a guy somewhere behind him, but not until he gets to the end zone. That is a blown coverage by the Raiders defense. And now you've got the penalty, moves the ball a little closer, and then you just get power football. So it was a very faint pulse about 5 minutes ago, but that heart's ticking pretty strong right now, Tom.
Don't forget to stay tuned. Game 2 of the World Series. The Marlins against the Indians. O.J. against Brown. Marlins taking the long ball last night and claiming victory in Game 1 in their first World Series appearance. Game 2 tonight right after this one. Raiders expecting the onside kick from Elam. He kicks it away. Nobody home. Desmond Howard is going to have to field it. And he's down at about the 12-yard line.
Well, perfect execution on that kick by Jason Elam and the Broncos special teams. And, you know, 5 minutes ago, I said the pulse was faint for the Broncos. 5 minutes ago, the Oakland Raiders and their fans had the pom-poms out on the sidelines. They were celebrating their win over the Denver Broncos. And suddenly now Joe Bugle's guys are saying, well, wait a minute. Well, hold on. That's why coaches don't celebrate too early, especially when you're facing number 7 on the other sideline, John Elway.
Elway has made a habit of fourth quarter comebacks. It's legendary. In fact, 41 times he's had fourth quarter game-saving drives. That's either winning or saving a win. Bowden Kaufman stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and the clock will stop for the 2-minute warning. At the 2-minute warning, the Raiders trying to hold on.
I'm the luckiest man alive. I just bought this camera. Does my Visa card have some kind of purchase coverage or something? No? Oh, boy. Hey, does Visa have any place out here I can pick up a new car today? No, but I'm driving to Vegas to see Steve and Edie tonight.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Wow!
What was that? Visa says they're everywhere, but American Express helps you with just about everything.
Okay, yeah. You think we should get help?
Nope, I got it. So you can always do more.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
If it were a guy's world, this would be your 9 to 5. Having kids wouldn't slow you down a bit. And you'd be so cool, you'd never sweat. But in the real world, guys sweat 40% more than women. Guys need the protection of Speed Stick antiperspirant. Protection from sweat and odor that never quits. In this world, or the world where every day is Saturday. Speed Stick. Protection just for the guys.
NBC Saturday in 2 weeks. The Pretender returns as a master thief.
I'm in.
A fearless rescue worker.
It's a great day to be alive.
And Clay is dead. Yikes! That's only the beginning.
He's a human chameleon.
The Pretender season premiere on the NBC Saturday Trilogy in 2 weeks.
Down to Miami for game 2 of the series. The Indians and the Marlins right after the conclusion of this game. 2 minutes left, and the Raiders desperately trying to hold on to a 3-point lead. Second down play. Napoleon Kaufman breaks it to the outside. He's in trouble, and he's tackled for a loss on the play. Ray Crockett up quickly from a corner. John Mobley came over, and it'll be third down after a loss of 1 on that Napoleon Kaufman run.
And no real sense of urgency on the Oakland Raiders standpoint. They're willing just to take their time, let this clock run off a little bit. But you're looking at this situation the way it is right here. 3rd, 10. You get a first down here, the game is over. You don't get a first down here.
What are they doing? They've got 12 seconds on the play clock here. He snapped the ball with 10 seconds on the play clock. Pass, caught, first down. Tim Brown, only his second reception of the game.
And a mocking back at you salute after that catch by Tim Brown. You're absolutely right. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Jeff George didn't need to snap it, but he did. And he's got Tim Brown on a low and away fastball, looking for the strike call, and he gets it. And just to rub it in a little bit, I got you salute right here.
Brown has not been a factor, but that was huge. And now the Raiders will just kill the clock. Penalty marker down. Well, this is the Raiders and the Broncos after all, and it wouldn't be that game without a good fight or two.
This is the game coaches warn their players about when you're off to a good start.
Encroachment, number 95 on the defense, slapping the ball. That's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And running time off the clock also.
That's what Joe Bugle's saying.
So Joe Bugle's pointing that clock, saying that offsides was intentional. They did it on purpose to stop the clock.
The game is over.
And that'll do it. Heads up, Joe Bugle. He made the call before Bernie did. So the Denver Broncos are no more unbeaten, and then there were none. Shanahan and the Broncos, John Elway's valiant effort falls 3 points short on the day that Napoleon conquered Denver. Led by Napoleon Kaufman, Oakland wins 28-25. Now stay tuned. Game 2, the Indians and Marlins coming up next on NBC. Kevin Brown against the Indians' Chad O.J. in Game 2 of the World Series. But first, we'll be sending you to Greg Gumbel in New York.